안녕하세요. 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 한의동포회관 제19주년 갈라에 오신 것을 진심으로 환영합니다. 제 이름은 전의석이고요. 작년에 이어서 올해에도 MC를 맡게 돼서 너무 영광입니다. Good evening and welcome to the 19th annual Korean Community Center Gala. My name is William Jun and I'm your MC for tonight. It's my honor to serve as your MC tonight, in my case for the second time. I've been involved with the KCC through its Young Panels Network as a panelist at YP at Night, which is actually happening in 2 weeks. So it's great to be able to give back to an organization that has enriched my life in many ways. I've been inspired by the valuable role that the KCC plays in the lives of Korean Americans in the New York metro area. And I fully support the theme of this year's gala, touching the lives of special needs families, which expands the KCC's mission to promote healthy and independent living of all the community members at all ages. So again, welcome to our annual KCC celebration, and I hope you have a wonderful evening tonight. To begin our festivities, I'd like to ask all of you to please rise for the salute to the flags. 국기에 대한 경례를 위해서 모두 자리에서 일어나 주시기를 바라겠습니다. 먼저 스크린에 태극기를 향해서 모두 경례하겠습니다. 국기에 대한 경례. 바로 다음은 스크린에 성조기를 향해서 또 경례하시겠습니다. 국기에 대한 경례. 바로 모두 착석해 주시기 바랍니다. Please be seated. Now, please welcome to the stage our gala co-chair of this year, Mr. Jason Chun, for opening remarks.
Good evening. Since it's so windy outside, I decided to joke about the wind. But I know I'm going to fail, but don't laugh at me if I fail, okay? Okay, there's 3 drunken people standing on the top of an Empire State Building. The first one says to the other, you know, it's funny thing about these wind currents. A person could jump off this building right now and not even hit the ground. The wind would carry him right back up to the top of the building. The second drunk says, you are crazy. The first drunk says, I'm serious. Watch. The first drunk jumps off the building and the wind carries him right back up to the top. The second drunk says, let me try. So second drunk leaps off the building and promptly falls to the street below. First drunk smiles and clearly amused. The third drunk looks at him and says, you know, Superman, you can be a real jerk when you're drunk. I know it's not going to work. 죄송합니다. 바람이 너무 많이 불어가지고 I decided to do a joke. Well, I won't do it next time again. Good evening. On behalf of KCC Board of Trustees and supporting councils, it is my great honor to welcome you to our 2019 annual gala. Thank you for joining us on this evening of celebration. I'm delighted to see so many friends and supporters of KCC. We have over 450 guests gathered here tonight and have prepared many wonderful programs for you. I want to begin by saying thank you to many generous sponsors, as well as all the supporters of KCC. Also, I'd like to thank our chairwoman, Judy Chang, and our CEO, Unju Ryu, and many others who spent countless days and nights making sure that our evening will be enjoyable. Let's give them a big hand. KCC has been playing a crucial role in our community, especially by providing critical support for low-income families, social services, healthcare, and many more. Tonight, we are gathered here not only to celebrate 19 years of KCC work, but to show our commitment in bringing KCC to the next level. I remember standing here 6 years ago, welcoming all of you as a Gala chair. I also remember seeing so many hearts being touched and moved at the Gala. We hope to see that again tonight. At the time, our dream was to build our own KCC building. Thanks to everyone here and Dr. Ma, our dream has been fulfilled. And now, we must ask ourselves the next question. What is KCC's next big goal? What is the vision for next 10, 20 years? Our CEO, Lee Eun-ju, will be sharing some of the KCC's future plan with you shortly, but it is very critical that we work on addressing these issues now and invest in growing our programs. While doing so, let's not forget to include our children, grandchildren, and generation after that. They should be the protector and keeper of KCC in the future. But would they come back to KCC after they have grown up? Well, not sure. According to a study, only 61% of young adults say they are proud to be Korean American. Well, I think that's troubling. I believe the number will go down further if we don't act now. That's why it is so important that we expand programs for our children and teach them about their Korean heritage and identity through the KCC programs. KCC should be a place for them to come back and feel the pride for being Korean American 10, 20, or even 50 years later. They're just saying that great vision will not be relevant without great people. We need your help. We'd like to invite you to join us in this great mission and would really appreciate your support in helping us reach our next goal. KCC must stay strong and continue to be an important pillar in our community. We can accomplish this if we all work together. Let's make KCC a great place for everyone, now and future. Lastly, but least, we are thrilled to welcome and honor our distinguished keynote speaker, Richard Park, as well as the rest of honorees. Thank you for all again for your invaluable time, continuous support, and contributions as we strive to build our community together. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chun, for your speech. Now it's our great pleasure to have the Honorable Ambassador Hyosung Park for his congratulatory remarks. 박효성 총영사님의 축사를 저희가 청하도록 하겠습니다.
존경하는 동포 여러분 안녕하십니까? Chief Executive Officer Lee Eun-ju, Gala Co-Chairs Mr. Jason Chun, Dr. Kim Young-jung, Dr. Richard Park, keynote speaker tonight, Mr. Anthony Curaton, Bergen County Sheriff, distinguished members of the Korean American community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. It's really wonderful to be here tonight, and especially it is great to see you all tonight on the occasion of the 2019 KCC Gala. The evolution of the KCC reminds me of building a snowman. As you know very well, in order to build a wonderful snowman, you always have to start from a small snowball. You first have to make it with your hands in a caring and careful manner. And then you have to roll the snowball around on the ground until it gets large enough. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is exactly how the KCC has evolved. It started with a small group of well-intentioned Korean seniors in the name of Friends of Great Seniors, FGS. Just like a growing snowball, the FGS, currently KCC, has evolved into a much bigger and well-functioning organization over the past 19 years. Looking back, its transformation is truly impressive. The KCC has emerged as one of the most exemplary social service institutions, which provides tailored programs and services ranging from cultural and educational programs to health and social services for all generations of Korean Americans in the area. Indeed, the KCC serves as such a wonderful and beautiful melting pot for Korean Americans to gather, share, and learn from each other. I'm confident that the KCC has made and will continue to make such meaningful contributions to the healthy development of the greater Korean American community. In this regard, I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize and appreciate the hard work and devotion and dedication that all members of the KCC have made. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is critically important to make sure that the KCC will continue to make its best efforts to remain an inclusive, relevant, and sustainable organization as it should. Along these lines, I'm very pleased to note that the KCC is holding the Gala event tonight as part of such efforts to keep its forward momentum. Without a doubt, tonight's event is both timely and meaningful as it aims to help autism spectrum disorder families to meet their everyday challenges. It is for this reason that I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations on the successful hosting of this Gala event. My special thanks go to CEO Lee Woon-ju, Gala co-chairs Dr. Kim Young-jung and Mr. Jason Chung, all other organizers, volunteers, and sponsors for their hard work and efforts to make this beautiful event possible. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Honorable Hyosung Park. Now we'd like to welcome to the stage our new CEO, Ms. Eunju Ryu, who will share the new vision of KCC. Please welcome Ms. Eunju Ryu.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 19th KCC Gala. It's my great privilege to take the leadership of this organization at this critical time, exciting moment to transform the KCC from a teenager, 19 years old, to a stronger, respectful, and trustful young adult. Our mission, as you might know, is to promote Korean heritage, identity, and also to promote healthy and independent living of all ages of our Korean American community members. And our vision is to provide practical tools and resources to achieve that mission through the educational programs, social services, and civic advocacy. And from this year, actually, we have extended our offer to the people who are working during the weekdays. So we widely open up the weekend class, and also we have extended our offer to especially for the special needs families. So I'd like to ask your continuous support as a KCC member, friends, fellows, and partner organizations to make this transformation very, very successful together, because we're better together. So that you can come and visit us, the KCC, with any questions, suggestions, any ideas, anytime. Maybe we may not have all the immediate answers for you, but we will certainly navigate things together, working hands in hands to address it. That's the power of the community. So please remember, we are here for you. Your proud Korean Community Center is here for you when you need it. Thank you all very much for coming out tonight to share your love and care for our community. And please enjoy the fantastic 2 hours, I promise you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Unju, for sharing the new mission and vision of the KCC. And now we'd like to actually recognize a few dignitaries who were able to join us this evening, sitting in our front tables. Special thanks to Ambassador Hyoseong Park, 박효성 대사님. Council Yoonjung Kim, 김윤정 영사님. The head of Korean Cultural Center, Mr. 윤증 조윤증은 한국문화원장님. Bergen County Sheriff Anthony Curitin, Mrs. Curitin, and the first Asian underserved, Mr. Jin-sung Kim. The mayor of Tenafly, Mr. Peter Rustin, and Tenafly Councilman, Mr. Daniel Park. Ingold Cliffs Councilwoman Ms. Gloria O, and Jersey City Councilman Mr. Michael Yoon. 오늘 VIP 분들이 많이 오셨습니다. 새롭게 비상하는 코리아 커뮤니티를 위한 지대한 관심과 응원을 보내시는 것이라고 믿고 대단히 감사드립니다. 혹시 제가 실수로 소개드리지 못한 분이 계시다면 양해 부탁드리고요. Thank you all very much for sparing your precious time to support KCC tonight. Now it's our pleasure to introduce the first of our special performances. Ms. Kyung-eun Kim will play haegeum, a Korean traditional instrument, with Soo-jung Ko, who will play the keyboard. Please welcome Ms. Kim and Ms. Ko to the stage. Thank you very much for your great performance. 너무 감사하게 잘 들었고요. 이제 오늘의 키노트 스피커 Dr. Richard Park을 소개해 드릴 텐데요. The keynote speaker for tonight, Dr. Richard Park, he's a founder and CEO of CityMD, the leading urgent care provider in the Seattle and New York metro areas with over 100 sites. Mr. Park is board certified in emergency medicine and served as chief resident at Long Island Jewish Medical Center. As associate director of the residency program in NLS LIJ's emergency department, he received the Teaching Attending of the Year award in 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2006, and then a system-wide award in 2007. Dr. Park is the author of McGraw-Hill's Intensive Review of Emergency Medicine and is co-director of NSLIJ's Manhattan Board Review for Emergency Medicine. Dr. Park has been a keynote speaker at the YPN dinner last year, and we're thrilled to welcome him here tonight as our Gala keynote speaker. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Richard Park.
Well, thank you for having me here. I have to say, I wondered the wisdom of speaking in an event that would have me as a speaker. So, I'm proud to be a Korean American, although I've only been to Korea for the first time last year. It was the first time in my entire life. I was born and raised in Flushing, and I was there in Korea last week, in fact, for the third time in my life. And I was ordering Starbucks, because I know Starbucks, familiar with Starbucks, and I went into a Starbucks and I asked for coffee. And she asked me some strange questions I quite didn't understand. So when I'm in Korean, if I don't understand the question, I go, yeah, right? And that serves me pretty well. So I ordered coffee, and then she asked me some question, which I didn't understand. So I said, yeah. Apparently what she asked me was, would you like to put that on a points card? We don't do that here in America. So that didn't work, and my wife had to kind of rescue me. So that's to say I'm going to speak here in English for the rest of this conversation. So I am proud to be Korean American. I know maybe only 60, I'm part of that 62%, even though I was just born here in the States. But I was born and raised in Flushing, and today I realize what that means. I live with my parents. My mother and father live with us, or we live with them. And even in holiday dinners right now, it's our house, but we eat with the kids, and the adults eat at the formal table. And so my dad and I, we often get into arguments. Not a lot, but sometimes, actually a lot, growing up. And I know he's losing the argument because he comes up with this last line. When he's losing the argument and he can't win, he says, Richard, 너 혼자 컸어? Right? That's how I know I have him, right? That translates in English, did you raise yourself? That's like a last desperation, okay? My dad and I, and my parents and I, we have a long history together because ever since, obviously long history, he's my dad. But more than that, I think unusual to most father-son relationships. I worked with him a long time. So born and raised in Flushing, and the typical immigrant life, and everyone here has an immigrant story life too. It's not just me. Everyone here has a story. I'm just here at the mic. But he taught me growing up how to look at garbage outside of stores, right? So we would sit at dinner table and go, son, look at all the garbage outside that store. Look at all the garbage outside that store. He goes, you know what that means? I'm like, I have no idea, Dad. He goes, a lot of garbage means a lot of business, right? So when you're a Korean American here in New York, all you do is open stores and you close stores. In fact, we had the first, he says, we had the first Korean sign in America. It was on 32nd and Broadway in the early 70s. And I don't remember the name. I think it was, some Hanil something, Sangsa. It was the first Korean sign. It was in the Korean newspapers. I wish I had a copy of that. So we were so proud of that. So he taught me to look at garbage. We had so many different types of stores. We had a restaurant, which was really hard work. We had, a wig store. Everything else except we didn't do nail salon and we didn't do yachaekage. Those were the two things we did. I actually worked at yachaekage, but other than that. And so, that's the Korean life. And I remember one summer, I worked at a clothing factory. And back then, the 봉제공장 was like a big thing. All Koreans, before it moved to, South America, they did clothing factories. So they would work in clothing factories. And my job there, and that was the most miserable job I've ever had in my entire life. My entire job there, from morning to night, was, and this was only for a summer, was I would hang the clothing and I would put the plastic bag over it, hang it. I can still do the motions. Hang it up, bag, click, hang. Thousands and thousands of times a day. And then my next job was to tag it. You got to take these little tag guns, you got to tag it, right? Some of you guys know this. And I got to tell you, that was the hardest job because every 10 minutes felt like 3 hours. It felt like you're a kid, you're 7th, 8th grade. Every minute felt like forever. And I remember looking to the side, there were all these women working, and you can tell the look on their faces. They did that every day for years. And just the look on it was an entire floor, I remember, of all these women doing that. So that's the immigrant life, and that's what they did to raise us. So when my dad asked, did you raise yourself? I don't think so. So after high school, I didn't end up going to college. I ended up opening up a 1-hour photo store because we couldn't afford to go to college. And so if you guys remember the 1-hour photo industry, that's what Koreans did at that time. That was like the hot new thing. And so since age 17 to, 27, that's all I did, 1-hour photos. It's like millions of pictures. And we had the stores in Manhattan, on 77th and Lex, and that's how we fed ourselves and paid ourselves. And the entire time when I was growing up, we were worried about how do I take care of my parents? How do I make sure that they eat and live and we pay rent? That was the preoccupation of my mind. And as a high school student, I thought, you know what, if I have 10 photo stores or 10 24-hour yachaekage, I have succeeded. That was like my goal in life. And wouldn't you know it, today, CityMD is actually 1-hour medicine. It's the same concept. It's retail. It is as Korean as 1-hour photo or as 24-hour photo. It's the same, 24-hour food stores. It's amazing how you think you're making your own decisions, but it's really not. It's your culture, it's your people, your background, your friends and family. So 1999, life was looking good for me. I was a doctor. My first son was born. He's 20 years old today. My first son was born, and life was beautiful. Right? You're a kid, all of your parents, many of your parents, and when your kids come out, man, they are just perfect, innocent, 100% pure. They smell. Everything is just smells like honey, right? Even their stool smells like honey. Everything is so beautiful, and life was good. So at about age 3, he wasn't talking, right? He wasn't speaking, he wasn't making eye contact. And, the doctor thought there was something strange about it. Now, we're first-time parents, we have no idea. We said, good. He's not talking so much, it's good. It was quiet. But it turns out there was more going on. And shortly after, he was diagnosed with autism, and then your world breaks apart, right? Life was your perfect child came into this world, and now he's broken. It's like your favorite toy, but it broke, right? But it's more than that, it's your child. And so, at that time, we looked at numbers, 1 in, 16,000. It was some obscene number of people that were autistic. And so, obviously, we struggled with that. But of course, why would life be any better? Of course, it was too good to last. When you're an immigrant, you just think and you expect life to break. It was too good. It was suspicious, right? This can't be. So for a few years, we had some good, and that news came, and, we struggled a bit. And as Daniel grew older, it's embarrassing, right? Because you go to restaurants and he's screaming, running around, and all people hear that. I'm not sure if people here are families of special needs children, but it's challenging. It's embarrassing, right? And it's hard, and heart's broken as parents. And then in 2001, our second son, James, was born. And he's speaking and talking and playing hide and seek with us at age 2, and that's a normal kid. That's what it's like to have a normal child. Well, guess what? At age about, again, 2.5, 3, he started to do something very similar to what we observed in our first child. He started watching things spin. He'd look at the fan on top and watch it spin. We're like, uh-oh. Line up trains, right? And that's what autistic kids do. And so, you know what? He started to revert. He stopped speech. He started to regress. His language skills deteriorated, and he too was diagnosed with autism. And so today, both of them are diagnosed with autism. And our younger one is nonverbal. The younger one is 17, the older one is 20. He's a sophomore at Adelphi University. We're very proud of him, but the younger one's nonverbal. And so we have 2 children with special needs. Now, when my older son, Daniel, at about 14, he hit puberty, he ended up, Daniel always talked to himself a lot. And those of you know Daniel, I love Daniel, runs around, talks. He's very happy, but he would run around and talk to himself, but not happy. He started not sleeping at night, and I would listen to what he's saying at night, and the content of his speech started to get a little bizarre, right? And then I would read his journals, and his journals would be alarmingly scary. There's some very unusual content that makes, 소름 끼쳐, like your hairs are, it's like this content is really strange. So here I am at that point CityMD CEO. I have every resource apparent available to me. My son has a sort of a psychotic break, and he's really suffering, right? And how can you as a parent sleep next door when your child is being tortured and tormented mentally? You just can't stop it. There's no medication. It's not like he has appendicitis. You can just take out the appendix. It's just nonstop tormented by these thoughts. And so this is a Friday night. He's not sleeping for 2 weeks now. I don't know where to bring him. I'm the CEO of CityMD. I have no idea what to do. I have no connection. It's Friday. I know if I take him to the ER, they're going to hospitalize him because I'm an ER doc, I know. If you brought that kid, that floridly problematic, I'd admit him against the parents' will. So we didn't take him there. So I ended up calling Dr. Ken Davis. Dr. Ken Davis is a psychiatrist, but more importantly, he is the CEO of the Mount Sinai healthcare system in Manhattan. And he got me to see somebody very quickly on a Saturday. And then Daniel ended up getting the right medications and doing really well. He's doing not perfect, never going to be perfect. None of us are going to be perfect, but much better. And then a lot of these thoughts, he needs psychologist help. And I got to tell you, it is so hard to get good care. Even for me, who's in healthcare and has everyone on their phone. I have them on my phone. I have their personal cell phones on my number. And then it's expensive. You bring him to a psychologist. It's, $500 for the first, $600 for the first consult. It is impossible. How does the average human being access all these care? And the answer is they're not. The kids are suffering at home. The single moms, a lot of these kids have single parents, right? Because the dads typically, it's hard on the family. And so these single moms with 1, 2, 3 children with their own hard lives have to deal with this, and they can't, right? They probably yell and beat the kids. That's natural. You don't understand what's going on because you don't have the sophistication to know. And then there's no help, and you have to go to work. How do they access care? And so that's what we're here today for. We have to help. And everyone here, a lot of people here I know are very successful. Not everyone, but successful by the world's definition of that, perhaps financially. And we have an opportunity here to help. I remember as a kid growing up, I used to think if I have that car and I live in that house, I have failed because I've spent too much on ourselves. We've forgotten where I came from. And you know what? I kind of have the house and I have that car. I have, in a way, failed the 20-year-old Richard. And, we turn a blind eye. We consume so much, and there's no end to what we want and what we need, what we think we need. And so, the next part of my life, I'm a young guy, next part of my life, I don't know, I like to spend it a little bit more meaningfully. There's a church called NYPC, New York 장로교회 I grew up in. And there's a lot of alumni here, actually, it turns out. But I remember growing up there, and these are people that lived in Elmhurst, really poor, hardworking, spent all day Sunday, all day Wednesday evenings. And they built that church and they raised thousands of kids. All of us kind of came and went. Actually, there's only like one person that I grew up with that's still there. Thousands and thousands of kids have gone through that church and left. And Newjang has a cemetery that they all use. It's called Pine Lawn in Long Island. And we often, because my father-in-law is buried there as well. My sister-in-law is here as well. And when you go through that cemetery, you go, you recognize names. It's really, there's, this 권사님 is there, and this, 장로님, 집사님, all the people that loved us and raised us and indirectly supported us. At one point, we had borrowed money from like almost everybody in church that had money to pay rent, and it was always embarrassing to go to church and looking at people and seeing them. But you know what? They helped. They helped raise us, pay your bills, keep you from being homeless. And I walk through that, and when I look at all those tombstones, 마음이, it's. So when my dad asked, 너 혼자 컸냐? No, 절대로 no. It's a community. Everyone has to help each other. And so I'm proud to be a Korean American here, even though I've only been to Korea 3 times. And I can't order Starbucks at Korea, apparently. But to be part of this group, that so many people are looking to help those that are most desperate. Immigrant life in America is tough for life in America is tough for anybody. And every day is hard. Right? To be a Korean immigrant in America is hard. To be a Korean American immigrant with special needs kids, it's impossible. Every day is a 적자. Every day. You're never catching up. Every day you're losing. It's hard. So I'm glad to be here. I'm asking here for your support and help in KCC. I'm honored to be a speaker. I am honored to be amongst this august group. And so thank you so much for listening. Let's really help KCC, help our fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Park, for such an inspiring speech. Last year, I went to the YPN night. I had a chance to listen to Dr. Park's speech at the time, which is really inspiring. And I'm really glad he was able to join us tonight as well to share his stories again. Especially someone, I work in Flushing. I work for a nonprofit organization like KCC called Minkwon Center. And a lot of us, our organizations focus on immigrant rights and immigrant life. So it was especially inspiring for me. And I also live in Astoria, and they also opened a City MD just a couple months ago. I've been a patient, so thank you very much for opening such a great place for me to visit. Now we'd also like to take a moment to recognize all of the sponsors of our gala this year who are listed up on the screen. Thank you very much, all the sponsors. You can also find all the supporters for the past 5 years, from 2014 to 2018, in the Gala program book. Thanks to your generous support, the KCC will be able to offer the vital services to the Korean American community throughout the year. Please join us in giving them all a round of applause tonight. Okay, I know all of you are very hungry now, but just a quick reminder before dinner that the silent auction outside the reception hall will be open until 9 p.m. We've got some really great prizes tonight, such as Seoul, New York round-trip air ticket, LG Styler, Samsung cell phones, smartphones, case of fine wine, and rounds of golf at various golf clubs. So make sure you place your bids before it ends. It ends at 9 p.m., so please make sure to place your bids before then. Also, we have the raffle tickets that are going on. It's a 50-50 raffle tickets. So the winner will receive 50% of the pot. So the more money you put, more tickets you buy, the more money you actually get to take home. So It's a 돈 놓고 돈 먹기 raffle ticket입니다. So 많이 사주시기를 부탁드리겠습니다. While dinner is being served, we'll be showing a KCC video presentation. So please enjoy your dinner and enjoy the video as well. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So we'd like to start the second half of our evening right now. So at this time, we'd like to present our awards for tonight. First, recognition of life contribution. Second, community service award. Third, outstanding volunteer award. Fourth, employee of the year award. We'd also like to Bergen County Executive Mr. James Tedesco also congratulates all the awardees tonight. He wasn't able to join us tonight, but he actually has a plaque as well that's going to be awarded to all the awardees tonight. So at this time, please welcome Ms. Judy Chang, the chairwoman of the Board of Trustees of KCC, who's going to present the awards to all the awardees tonight.
Thank you, William. Good evening. Do you like fortune cookies? I do too. I recently found a wise phrase in my fortune cookie. It said, "Service is the rent you pay for having room on earth." When we support a public cause or a nonprofit organization, I think we are acknowledging that we were given a lot in life. We breathe free air, we have access to some education, our community is relatively safe, and somebody helped us at some point in our lives, which lead us to want to live a life of use to others. An act of giving is sharing a piece of oneself, and there is a special someone who has given herself completely and freely to KCC. As you might have guessed, it is our founder, Dr. Keun Ma. She is one of the most courageous and most audacious people I've ever met. She believed we immigrants can be model citizens of this country and wanted to create a platform. She dreamt of a 21,000 square feet community center out of nothing. She refused to accept any compensation for her full-time work for 20 years. As a matter of fact, she's donated her life savings. She's never missed one board meeting. Dr. Ma truly is the greatest contributor to KCC, and I'm sure she will be remembered as a formidable community leader in our Korean American history. Now let's welcome Ms. June Silverstein, Dr. Ma's daughter, who will be receiving our thank you plaque for Dr. Ma. June is actually a longtime supporter of KCC, and the Steinway grand piano at KCC used to belong to her before Dr. Ma took it for KCC. I'm not sure if she ever discussed it before the fact. So this plaque is for Dr. Ma as much as it is for her family, who had to share Dr. Ma with us for so many years. Thank you, June.
Good evening. So I'm Dr. Ma's daughter, June Silverstein, and it's a tremendous honor to accept this award on behalf of my mom. My mother sends her deep regrets that she could not be here today, as my father is quite ill. And on behalf of our entire family, I'd like to thank the KCC organization and board for their faith and deep partnership over these many years. And what the KCC has grown into is a testament to the power of this faith and partnership, and my mother is incredibly grateful. I'd like to take a moment to brag about my mom. My mother is a woman of incredible, exceptional talent and drive, but also great modesty. So I would never be able to say this if she were here. But my mother is quite simply awesome. Growing up, I knew her as a mother and doctor raising 3 kids, who always managed to do 1,000 things at once. But I never guessed she was such a visionary entrepreneur at heart. I remember when she first dreamed of a KCC over 20 years ago, a shared home where Koreans, Korean Americans, and those interested in Korean culture could come together to celebrate and strengthen the bonds of community. It all started when my mother retired from her medical career, and she started sewing quilted blankets in the basement of our home with a few other ajumas. In fact, at the time, although I considered, she tackled this project with incredible energy and passion, the same as she's shown in building the KCC. And in fact, while at the time I considered myself a cool, hip New Yorker dressing mostly in black in those days, if you came to my dorm or apartment, you would find it covered top to bottom in her quilted creations, in matching floral prints. Bedspreads, pillows, curtains, oven mitts, baskets, and even a matching pair of potted quilted cactus. From these early days, she founded the KCC. And as she grew the organization, so too did she grow its vision of its potential, her vision of its potential. Today, I am so inspired by her vision and leadership, but also by the guts and the sheer hard work and determination she and the rest of the KCC organization have put into building the center. And it's so exciting to see what the center has become today. A vibrant cultural community with hundreds of programs benefiting all ages of the community, and one that I hope my children will enjoy as they grow older as well. So today, as she steps back from the organization to focus on our family, we all look forward with hope and excitement to the future and KCC's next chapter. So thank you for coming tonight and showing your continued support and commitment to the KCC and my mother's vision. Thank you.
Now I'd like to continue to celebrate others who have chosen to live a life of use. Here's a list of top 10 donors. Let's look at the screen together. Interestingly, many of the donors are not the users of KCC. The Han family, which has donated $600,000, does not even live in the East Coast. They've never been to our center. And all of our top donors do not just contribute to KCC. They have contributed to many meaningful organizations because they want the community to do well. In this spirit, I want to say this. We are truly inspired by your leadership and your gift. And we promise, we'll try our hardest to live up to your expectations. Thank you.
호명하시는 분들은 모두 무대 위로 올라와 주시기 바랍니다. Han Family Foundation, Dr. Andrew and Donna Beck, Jinwon and Donghwan Kim, Julie and Jason Chun, Ingol Hospital, Haesuk and Byungkook Lee, Michael Seo, Myungho Lee, Youngran and Jin Lee. Please come up to the stage. 다시 한번 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. Thank you very much.
This time, we want to thank one more crusader, Ms. Seung-Hwa Yoon. Ms. Yoon has served the KCC Board of Trustees for 10 years. Over the last 10 years, she's taken up various leadership positions, but always behind the scene. A humble leader, she's organized women's club activities, benefit concerts, and fundraising events, all the while serving on the board as the treasurer. She's my personal role model, and I believe with this award, we are buying 10 more years from her tonight. Let's welcome Ms. Yoon.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yoon, for your service. Now, the Outstanding Volunteer Award goes to Mrs. Min Sung Kwon. Please come up to the stage. Mrs. Kwon is volunteering to teach line dance classes at the KCC, as you saw in the KCC video presentation. Thank you very much, Mrs. Kwon. Now, last but not the least, Employee of the Year award goes to Mrs. Sumi Kim. Please come up to the stage. Mrs. Kim is the first person you can meet when you enter the KCC. She ensures the effective operations of all the activities and communications regarding KCC membership, donors, interns, and volunteers. Please give her a round of applause, please. Now, please join us one more time giving all the awardees tonight for their dedication and contribution to the success of the KCC. Now at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Anthony Curitin, the Bergen County Sheriff, who will present the Certificate of Commendation to KCC. Ms. Judy Chang will receive the certificate on behalf of KCC.
Good evening, how you doing? I just want to say on behalf of the Bergen County Sheriff's Office, we proudly present to you the KCC Award celebrating 19 years of community service in Bergen County. It's a great opportunity to have to present this award. Within the last year, especially in the last 5 months of running for my election, I've developed great relationships in the Korean community. And this guy right here to my left, we developed a relationship 27 years ago, and we're still friends. And when it came time to elect an undersheriff or select an undersheriff, my good buddy Jin Sung Kim was the easy choice for me. But again, something you want to say? All right. So again, on behalf of the Bergen County Sheriff's Office, we present this to you. We thank you for your service and continued support of the Korean American community. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anthony Curitin. It's such a great honor and recognition of KCC for their commitment and dedication for the community. Thank you very much again. Now, I'd like to introduce our Gala co-chair of this year, Dr. Yong-Jung Kim, for the pledge time. Please welcome to the stage, Dr. Yong-Jung Kim.
안녕하십니까. 조금 전에 소개받은 갈라 코체어 김용정입니다. KCC를 위해서 이렇게 귀중한 시간과 물질 그리고 여러분의 마음을 보태주신 것에 대해서 항상 깊은 감사를 드리고 있습니다. 지금부터 제가 드릴 말씀은 여러분 좀 편하게 계시고 여러분 벨트를 느슨하게 만드시고 지갑을 여시고 그리고 사랑하는 마음을 보여줄 시간입니다. 혹시 이런 말씀 들어보셨는지 모르겠습니다. I think we have 7.5 billion people in this on earth in 21st century. But 5 billion has no chances to get a surgery in appropriate time. So 5 out of 7 is not qualified to do the surgery at the time when they need it. So what shall we do for them? According to the data from WHO, the wealthiest one-third country has 75% of all surgeries in the whole world. And the poorest one-third has just 6%. So, as you may know, God created this world and He gave us the privilege to dominate and control the whole earth. So if you think you are the son or daughter of the Son, God, you may have the ownership of or stewardship of this world and may try to make this world a little bit better world. Today, I want to present some medical knowledge on the autistic disorder. You may saw the movie named Rain Man long time ago by Dustin Hoffman. The Rain Man at that Dustin Hoffman's role was the autistic disorder, and now we are talking about the Savant syndrome and something like that. So when I was very young, when I was in medical school 30 years ago, we have no knowledge about that much about autism. Just a small number of the patients we met. But nowadays, as you see, according to the US CDC data 2018, you can see 1.6%. More surprisingly, the man, your son, or some of the son of others have 4 times more prevalence than girl. So boy has 4 times weaker, I'm not sure, but the boys has 4 times more prevalence compared to the girls. And some data from Korea, more surprising, is 2.6%. Nearly 1 out of 4, 1 out of 40 has that problem. So nowadays, we do not have that many kids, but so many kids are suffered from that problem now. So what's the difference between United States and Korea? Korea has mandatory whole nation's evaluation of the kids the first 9 months, 18, 30 months, 40, and 54, and 66. So if they found something wrong at that whole nation screening, the kids are referred to that specialist. But here in the United States, unfortunately, we do not have that system. So what should we do? We have to raise the question, and we have to prepare the upcoming generation. And what's the reason? What's the ideology of that autism spectrum disorder, in acronym-wise ASD? Unfortunately, we have no clue. It's like a spectrum from the difficulty in communication and contact with others to the also we call the Savant syndrome. They remember everything from the beginning of the day when they were born. But they are not good at the communication. And sometimes we are talking about the geek or nerd is the kind of spectrum. So that's the reason spectrum is so wide and big. Don't let me be misunderstood the situation. I'm a spine surgeon. I get all this knowledge from Dr. Jung in my table. She ran the autistic group more than 15 years in Korea, and she has a lot of knowledge on the autism. So I got all this information from her. So even though I'm a spine surgeon, I can speak in front of you because of her. Thank you. And the most important thing for that autistic disorder or ASD is the earlier diagnosis. The sooner the better. According to Dr. Jung, even 2 years is possible. At the age of 2, they can show the problem already, and if they start that treatment earlier, that age, that can change a lot compared to the diagnosis in late days, teens. So that is very, very important. So the reason why I'm explaining this to you, if you have any relatives or the grandkids or son or daughters, anything wrong, earlier detection is the key. So make an appointment with the doctor as soon as possible and make the plan earlier situation. That is the best answer. And another one is the intensive care. Early intensive therapy is very, very important. So make the human underdeveloped yet, but the immature human's brain is very malleable, so they can be touched by the specialist. They can change the future direction. So that is very, very important. But as you see here, 5 days a day, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week is what they needed. So very, very intensive care is needed, but a lot of treatment is needed for that one person. So how can we manage that? That's the area we all have to think about and make a plan for the future. So there's no cure in the autistic syndrome disorder, autism ASD, but the goal of the treatment is just make them at least communicate with the social and the outer world and make a living by themselves as a independent person if it's possible. So these are not only helped by the family, also need to be helped by the community. That is the reason we have to aware that the problem, autistic spectrum disorder, and pay much attention to that family and kids. That is very, very necessary. So they can live as a functional and the human being and the best by themselves. That is very, very important. Seems like you look like very surprised to me because of the two heavy topics after good meal. I'm so sorry about that. So now let's move to the next one. So this is what I always considered. Even though I am a spine surgeon, sometimes I am coming to other country by myself to help them. Sometimes we are making a group, visit that country every year. So that is I think that is my duty as a human being, as well as the good son of the God. So this is what I always think. God needs you to help people in our society and all these areas. So, please, you can see the paper on the center of your table. You can see like this one. So there is pledge paper. So from now on, I will ask you if you are willing to help this community and this family. I think that this is the best one for you to help us. So please, raise your hand or write it down and return it to us. So our other co-chair told me that you may start the $10,000. So it's the time, raise your hand, and we'll send somebody to you and make your everything perfect. Okay? So let's start from 10,000. Jason promised me if you support 10,000, he will bring some Screaming Eagle wine or Harlan. I heard that is very expensive and good one. So Jason promised me one of them if you donate them money. Please raise your hand on 10,000. Over there? Oh my goodness. So frankly speaking, this year our goal was 700,000. Unfortunately, we made 550,000, so we need 150. Please, this is the best time for you to help society and help all around the world people. So if you make one area happier, then makes the whole world happier. So it's the good time. Please raise your hand again. 10,000 once more. Okay. Thank you so much. This is my first time in my whole life. I never asked money. Okay. Okay, so 2. I love number 3. So we are talking about 1 is lonely, 2 is good, but 3 is perfect, right? Anyone? Once more? Don't be shy. Okay, okay. Let's coming down a little bit lower. Oh my goodness, we have here. So we have perfect number. Thank you so much. And now let's go down a little bit lower. 5,000. How about it? Is it okay? Let's go 5,000. Please raise your hand or paddle. It looks like a jugok. Okay? Thank you. You did a wonderful job. Okay. Tried but failed, okay? So we can make another one. So raise your hand. It's 5,000, okay? Raise your hand or raise your pedal to pledge 5,000 for the KCC or the Korean American or New York and New Jersey area, Korean American. So please raise your hand about just 5,000, right? I think it's time to move a little bit lower. Okay, let's lower the bar a little bit. So how about the 3,000? 3,000? Still high? 5 is too high? Okay? Okay, I understand. It is not easy. I understand. Okay, let's go 2,000. Once more, 2,000. Okay, over there. Thank you so much. Over there as well. 2,000. Two ladies, two beautiful ladies raised their hand. So table number is 21 and 24. We saw two beautiful ladies. How about the two beautiful men? Did you see that movie, Deer Hunter? The song is, she is beautiful, not she is beautiful, he is beautiful. So I am looking for a beautiful man. Okay, over there. 5,000, yeah. So we have 10,000, 5,000, 2,000. Now, if you want to raise your hand, this is the best time for you. It's just 1,000. This is the time. Can you show your heart to our community and our community center? Please raise your hand for 1,000. $33, 10. Okay, time is golden and the time is so precious. So I will step down right now. But you can write it down here and you can submit in front of our gate. So thank you so much for your participation and your golden heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kim, and all the generous contributors. Thank you very much for your contributions. You can pay your pledge at the registration desk as you walk out and head home tonight. Thank you very much again. All right, now we're excited to introduce our second special performance of the evening. Mr. Jin Myung Kim and Ms. Ji Won Seo will play Handel and Bach. Please welcome them to the stage. Thank you very much again. Now is the moment you've all been waiting for, I assume. We're going to announce the winner of tonight's raffle. So our total pool this evening was $5,200.40. So the winner gets to take home $2,600 and $2,620 home. Now, so we'd like to ask Dr. Richard Park to come up and select tonight's raffle winner.
읽어드리겠습니다. Ready? Number winning ticket is 7759 180. 7759 180. You win. 축하드립니다. 와!
Congratulations. So now that you've won this money, what do you plan on doing?
I have no plan yet. Wow, thank you.
All right, congratulations again. Thank you, Dr. Park. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, congratulations again, and thank you everybody for participating in the raffle tickets tonight. So the silent auction is now complete, and the winners are listed up on the stage, up on the screen. Please take a look and find your names. The prizes will be distributed outside the ballroom after the gala. So please sign your names. And now to close our evening, I want to invite up Ms. Eunju Ryu for some final remarks. Please welcome Ms. Eunju Ryu to the stage.
네, 안녕하세요. 다시 뵙겠습니다. 오늘 이렇게 3월에 마지막 귀한 주말을 저희와 함께 이렇게 의미 있는 시간으로 만들어 주셔서 너무너무 감사합니다. 우선 3시간 동안 고생한 너무나 잘 진행해 준 윌리엄 존 변호사님 박수 드릴까요? 그리고 이 행사를 이렇게 큰 실수 없이 진행해 준 AV팀, NB 팩토리 감사합니다. 그다음에 갈라 비디오를 예쁘게 만들어주신 우리 오픈포럼 김창종 PD님 감사드리고요. 그리고 제가 중요한 2가지 광고를 하겠습니다. 여러분들 책을 뒷면을 펴보세요. 그리고 핸드폰 사진 모드를 딱 여세요. 자, 맨 뒤에 보시면은 KCC를 후원해 주세요. 2번째 밑에 블루밍데일 지정 날짜가 3월 29일입니다. 자, 핸드폰으로 바코드를 찍으시고 이날 가셔서 쇼핑을 하시면 약간의 몇 퍼센트 후원금이 KCC로 돌아옵니다. 이것이 another way you can contribute to the KCC. 그리고 또 한 가지 중요한 광고는 여러분들이 이렇게 훈훈한 마음을 갖고 빈손으로 돌아가시지 않도록 우리 여기 제이슨 전 사장님하고 오현갑 사장님께서 좋은 물건을 구디백으로 주셨습니다. 그래서 나가실 때 명찰 없으시면 안 돼요. 명찰을 꼭 반납하시고 구디백을 하나씩 들고 가시기 바랍니다. 그리고 제가 이번 갈라를 이렇게 성공적으로 이끌게 해준 많은 분들이 계시고 여기 참석하신 분들, 참석하지 못하셨어도 후원해 주신 많은 분들께 감사드리는데 특별히 2 그룹에게 감사의 말씀 전하고 싶습니다. 제이슨 전 그리고 닥터 김용정 2분의 갈라 코체어를 위시해서 갈라 커뮤니티 여러분들 사진 찍어주세요. 갈라 커뮤니티 여러분들께 진심으로 감사드립니다. 밤낮으로 물심양면으로 도와주셨습니다. 박수 쳐줄까요? 그리고 제가 사실 오피셜리 1월 1일 날 취임을 했는데 취임을 하고 보니까 바로 코앞이 갈라예요. 그래서 굉장히 많은 새 프로그램을 런칭하면서 동시에 갈라 준비를 하느라고 피와 땀과 눈물과 기름기까지 쫙 빠진 우리 직원들 그리고 자원봉사자 여러분들 정말 수고 많이 하셨습니다. 박수 좀 부탁드립니다. 오늘 이렇게 늦은 시간까지 자리 함께 해주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 내년에도 또 뵙길 바라면서 안녕히 돌아가십시오. 감사합니다.